I'm going to take you through some stretching that always feels good to me. I always start with my wrists and then my feet, so we're just starting with the wrists. If you bend your elbows, it makes it more. And then I go onto my fingers, so I bend my elbows a lot, and that really stretches the fingers and the forearms. It feels really good. I'm gonna do the backs of the hands, so I'm stretching this way. Might even go further back to get that. I'm gonna stretch, this way just to get the wrist a little bit, moving over it, just to get a little movement in the wrist. Same thing on this side. And then I'm gonna also do that. That gets the fingers. And that does fingers too, a different way. And then I'm stretching the thumbs. They don't get stretched enough. I'm just pushing them into the ground and then pulling my fingers forward. So that feels good. That feels really good, actually. And then I'm gonna just rock on my wrists this way. So I don't have all my weight on it, just a little. And then this way. You can do it with all your weight if you really got strong wrists, but I'm gentle at this point. This part I can do more weight. And you're just rocking your wrists, just opening up the wrists. Yeah. Then I have my socks on because it'll help me stretch later when I do other stretches. But this again, this is the feet, and I'm just loving that. Feels so good. And then I'm gonna go up on my toes and just stretch the toes. They need stretching. They need stretching. Oh, it's so good. And then I stretch the feet. I do a couple things with the feet. One is with this, I just toggle, because there's all these bones in the feet. Nice to toggle them. Is that a word? Toggle, yeah. Anyway, so when I'm doing this, sometimes the bones, they just like a little movement, Most people don't get movement in their feet. I actually wear shoes that don't have stiff soles so that my feet can move and they feel really good. And it's better for the feet. We have what's called proprioception. Proprioceptors on the bottom of our feet that tell our brain what the terrain is. But when your shoes have a very stiff bottom, then they can't communicate with the brain accurately. While you're doing this, just breathe. I breathe into my sacrum and it feels really good. And I'm pulling the legs, and I'm going to do it in every direction. So I'm kind of moving the stretch, all these different ways, so that my calves get a little bit of a different kind of stretching, and my feet. Okay, then I'm going to do, what do you want to do? This one, I've showed this before, but I just like it. So I just put it sometimes around one leg or sometimes around the other leg. I like this better than doing a bow. In yoga, you can do a bow where you grab your ankles, but I like this better because I have more. I'm not trying to arch my back, and I'm pushing my pelvis bone into the mat, and I'm really stretching my quad and my hip flexors. Oh my God. And I'm going to move it a little bit also for the same, to get more of the hip flexors. Oh God, that's incredible. All right, other one. And I'm trying to press, so I'm pressing my pelvic bone into the floor so that gives more of a stretch. And this little wrap thing, I got it from a girl named Stacy Nemore. Stacy Stretch Strap. If you want one. I don't know her, but my accountant told me about her because she's super flexible. She works with ballerinas. All right, so I'm pressing my pelvic bone into the mat while I'm pulling up my knee. And I'm not arching, I'm engaging my abs as well. Oh, that's so good. All right, then we're gonna do, this is just for this part. Oh, it feels so good. The deeper you breathe, the better you'll be able to stretch as well. And then I don't get that much stretch from this, but it gives a little bit right here in the side. So that's good. You want to put your knee as close to the earth as you can. I think it's really for the lower back on that side. It'll be the lower back on this side with this one. And again, try to breathe into your lower back. Breathe into your sacrum, which is the bone right at the bottom, not the tailbone, but right above it. And oh, that feels so good actually on the lower back. You know, and everybody you have to go at your own pace. It's so funny, when I was a kid, I couldn't touch my toes. And then my mom and dad sent me for a week to a gymnastics camp in 7th grade, and all of a sudden, after that week, I could go beyond my toes. So, you know, we were doing gymnastics all the time, right? So our bodies can really shift. Doesn't matter how old you are. You just want to be gentle and kind with your body. That is so good on this glute. Oh my God. I'm going to do it twice, this side, but then do the other side again. Because it's really stretching a lot. We're going to do that one more round. And I'm going to go to one side on, you know, I'm going to go forward and side. Oh, that's so good. That is getting right here. It's getting the lower back and the side. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that feels so good. All right, then I'm gonna just keep my hands back and just gonna stretch the shoulders from this direction. And again, this is good for the neck. some of the neck stretches I do, I have a little mini tramp and a cellar sizer, my favorite. On the cellar sizer, I will go jump, and I'll be looking this way, and I can feel my whole thing on both sides will start to relax, and I do the other side as well. So that really, when you're jumping, if you have a jumping trampoline thing, it's good because it just causes the muscles to get stronger, but also to relax. So that's good. One of the ways you can do this is you can also move your head forward like that, and then back. And then up. And then you're pulling this up. It's like you're pulling that little notch up. Feels very good. Very simple. What else do we like to do? Oh, we're gonna do this again. Everybody's gonna be at their own pace. So when you're at your own pace, you just go where it feels right. Like I can usually go further, but I haven't stretched this for a couple days, so I'm not gonna be as flexible as I am. Flexibility seems to be a daily thing for me anyway. Like the more consistent I am with it, the more I am able to stretch. Then I'm gonna do, this is how I do it. I always do this at night, because you know how some people get cramps at night? I don't get cramps if I do this. And so I'm just doing that, and you can do them in, just like I was doing the other stretch, where you're doing them in different directions, and it's opening up your calves and your hamstrings and your glutes, a little bit of your glutes. But this is really great, like before you go to bed. I do this like a lot well, not a lot, like a minute before I go to bed, but it feels very good. I mean, a lot of nights before I go to bed. Okay, and then I'm just stretching gently. Again, I'm trying to keep my legs hip width apart while I'm stretching, and I'm just trying to get the hip flexors on the back leg to relax more. And they did relax with the quadricep band that I used. Stretch band, Stacy Nemour, Nemour maybe? I don't know. She's beautiful. She's got amazing. She's way more flexible than me. Okay, and then I'm just gonna try a regular side split. And I haven't done this for a few days, so. When I move from one side to the other, I'm stretching the hip flexors on the back leg. Which you can do if you want, because it feels good. Then I have this. I have two of these, but I'll just use one for right now. This is a little roller thing. These are great. This one is called, I think it's called the Fascinator, because of fascia. So first I'm just gonna roll it on my back, to get. Oh, it's so good, just to put flexibility in your spine. And then I'm also going to use it just for the thing was going down. I'm gonna use it just for the back leg, or no, just for the front leg. I think that'll be easier for the splits that I just did. Just to get a more of a stretch. I won't be able to go down probably all the way, but this is gonna help me get it a little more. And then if you move your feet, that also stretches it. Oh. Okay, I could almost get all my weight on it. And then you don't have to get one of these for stretching. You could use something else. It's just that I happen to have it nearby, so I like it. And this is a kind of stretch I just don't get this stretch. No, oh God, but this one can go down more. I'm already on the ground, but I'm still trying to get more stretch. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. All right, then the middle stretch, center stretch, whatever you call it. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta work on that one. I haven't done it for a while. Oh, the only other things, what do I like to do else? I like to stretch. God, I like to stretch. It feels good to stretch. Okay, triceps. When I do this normally, I just don't want to bring the computer everywhere, but if I do this and I'm by a corner, oh, but this still feels good. If I'm by a corner, I will put my arm up like that and then put my weight into it to try to stretch the tricep, because they don't get stretched. This is a good stretch, but it's still not enough for me. Oh, but it does feel good. And then this is good, where you're on your knees and then you just keep this. It's going to stretch this whole thing. And if you put your arms up and you breathe in to your rib cage, that's a really good feeling. So breathe into the rib cage where you're stretching it. See if you can feel your intercostals. Those are your bones, your rib bones. See if you can feel the intercostals moving when you breathe. It's so good for, if you need to do aerobic sports, HIIT, any of those things, it's going to really help. I'm going to do another split just because I used the roller, and see where I am without the roller. I want to get to the place. I met this guy who was blown up in World War II, where he couldn't walk, and he was paralyzed from a plane crash. And I met him in the 90s. He was in his 80s, and he had somehow found yoga, and one nurse believed in him, and he'd gotten out of the hospital, and he had to go AWOL. They wouldn't let him leave, and he did, and he went AWOL, and then he got all into yoga. This is in, I don't know when, but that was the 40s that he got hurt. And so when I met him in the 90s, he was in his 80s, and he could go between 2 chairs with his pelvis on the ground, like I am now, but both feet on 2 different chairs in splits. And then he could put his, way more than I could, he could put his feet right here. Like, he was so able to move his spine. And so that is just a sign. You could be, he was blown up, or not blown up, he was crashed in an airplane and unable to move his body, and he got to be more flexible than I am now. Okay? So, and he was in his he was 84 when I met him, and I just loved him. He was so energized and so brilliant, and just, oh, it's so cool. He was such a good example of how you never should give up, no matter what a doctor says. The doctors at the place, they said he would never walk again, but the nurse believed in him. You gotta have somebody who believes in you, or you gotta believe in you, and you can change anything. I swear. Stuff I've healed, it's crazy. I'm just stretching my legs again because it feels so good. Okay, that's a good enough stretch for now. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Appreciate you so much.